Hi friends, it's me, Miss Mandy from the Braddock Carnegie Library, and I'm back with Miss Meatball, and we're here for another story time today. So are you ready to sing our hello song? All right, Meatball, you're gonna help? Girl. All right, let's do our ears. Let's do our ears first. My ears say hello, my ears say hello. When I see all my friends, my ears say hello. What else says hello? Let's do our smile. My smile says hello. My smile says hello. When I see all my friends, my smile says hello. What about, our fingers? My fingers say hello. My fingers say hello. When I see all my friends, my fingers say hello. What about, let's do our muscles. My muscles say hello. My muscles say hello. When I see all my friends, my muscles say hello. Good job. Oh, she's giving hugs. I think Meaty's sleepy. All right, let's do our whole bodies. My whole body says hello. My whole body says hello. When I see all my friends, my whole body says hello. Thank you, Meatball. Thank you. Do you want to go play? Do you want to go back to sleep? I had to wake her up to be in the movie today. She's a little bit sleepy. You ready to go back to sleep? You want to listen to the story? Bye. Okay, go ahead. She's going to go play with her toys now. Well, today, friends, is a very important day. Today is a very old holiday. It's a very important day of celebration. And it's something that hasn't always been really popular. Not a lot of people have known about it until maybe the past several years or so. And today is called Juneteenth. And it's a very important day because this is the day that the last slaves in the United States were freed after the Civil War. So we all know that Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which said that all the slaves should be free. And there was a big war. It was the North against the South. And because of the war, the soldiers from the North who wanted the slaves to be free, they weren't able to get to all the places to let the slaves know that they were free. So a lot of the slaves way down south in Texas, they didn't know they were free until way later, whenever a general came in and told them. And that was a big day of celebration because that was the day that they found out, the last of the slaves found out that they were free. And it's been a holiday for a really long time now. In fact, 155 years. But a lot of people really didn't know that that was a really important thing to celebrate, or they knew it was a thing to celebrate, but they didn't know the date of it. And now a lot of people are working very, very hard to make sure that this really joyful day, that everybody knows about it, and that everybody can think about how wonderful this was, and that everybody can celebrate. So today, June 19th, is Juneteenth. And we're going to read a story about Juneteenth, about that wonderful day that everything was different for a lot of people. This book is called All Different Now, Juneteenth, the First Day of Freedom, and it is written by Angela Johnson and illustrated by E.B. Lewis. And on the front of this book, we have a lot of people who look very, very happy and very grateful and thankful. Oops. You can see this looks like it was a long time ago on a farm. There's some chickens. A June morning breeze off the port blew the smell of honeysuckle past the fields across the yard. I brought some honeysuckle inside. It smells really, really sweet. So they woke up to a sweet, sweet smell. And it came into our room to wake us. They're sleeping. They woke up to that sweet smell. And nobody knew, as we ate a little and talked a little and headed to the fields as the sun was rising, that soon it would all be different. Everybody had to work. Then we worked and worked and worked some more under the hot Texas sun. It is very hot in Texas. Do you know what they're doing here, friends? They're picking cotton. And these people worked very, very hard to pick cotton for very rich white landowners. And they worked for free. Which isn't very nice. If you work, you should get paid, right? Until word spread from the port to town, through the countryside, and into the fields where all of these people were working. And they weren't free. They couldn't do whatever they wanted. Somebody else told them what to do all the time. They were not free. That a Union general from the army, remember I was telling you about the general? He had read from a balcony way up here that we were all now and forever free and things would be all different now. These people look really happy. Hands are in the air. Someone has their hat in the air. They weren't owned by anybody anymore. They were free. I watched as my Aunt Laura sang as she held her baby. Mr. Jake, who some say was 100, cried quietly. And a group of grown people bowed their heads and whispered things to each other that I could not hear. Why do you think he was crying? Were they happy tears or sad tears? My mama held my hand softly and looked beyond as another breeze blew over and everything fell into a hush. But later, Papa, Mama, the aunts and uncles, and all of my cousins had an afternoon picnic by the water. My baby brother crawled around on our blanket as we listened to the sounds of the waves. Ooh, that sounds like a nice way to celebrate. And as more people joined us, we ate as a free people, laughed as free people, and told stories as free people on into the night. Can you imagine how that must have felt for them? So different. What was before would be no more. As we walked back home, the cool of the night soothed our tired feet that padded quietly past the shadowy fields of cotton. Tiptoed home. And in the morning, the smell of honeysuckle will wake me again, beside my sisters and brother, to a time that will be for all of us. All different now. And look at them, they're leaving. They're leaving the place where they had to stay and had to work all the time, where they were owned by somebody else, and now they're free and they're their own people. And they're off to start a new life as free people. And that was a really important day, the day the last slaves were free. And now, the way a lot of people view it now is it's a more symbolic celebration of just it's a way for people to just think about how to respect and celebrate everybody's cultures and everybody's differences. But really it's all about the last slaves being freed on that day. And I have another poem. They were all so joyful, and I have a wonderful poem from the book Woke, A Young Poet's Call to Justice. And this is a poem by Mahogany Brown, and it's called Orchard of We, and this is a poem about joy and joyfulness. Remember, at the end of everybody was so happy. The one man cried because he was happy, and other people prayed because they were so thankful, and then everybody just enjoyed hanging out with each other and being with each other now that things were so different. And maybe it was a little bit scary that things were going to be different, but sometimes that's usually a good thing. If something's going to be different, it's okay to be a little bit scared, and it's really good to be very excited and joyful and hopeful. And I think that's what all of those people were feeling, all those different feelings that day. This poem is called Orchard of We. From blossoms we arrive like a fruit waiting to be chosen, a ripened joy in the bins at a grocery store, a relocation of home. From the orchard our hands clasp together, and we eat the meat closest to the pit. Peel the bananas and mangoes with a swift hand, bend our heads back in laughter. From the market, our hands clasp together as we share the fruit of the fruit, find a bowl to hold our bounty, use a spoon to spread the heap. Sweet fruit, sweeter family. The summer is a farmer's market on repeat. Laughter crowds the atmosphere and lands neatly on our cheeks. Peaches and watermelon rinds and kiwi dreams, waves crashing against our eyelids in glee, to become what we love with our eyes open and bellies full, to an orchard living among so many orchards, to blossom and become this impossible joy. It's a lot to be happy about. So we're going to have a pretty short story time today. Our activity for you today, did you know that there is a special flag for Juneteenth? And sometimes in some states, I believe in Pennsylvania, this might happen today because this is the first year that our state of Pennsylvania now officially says Juneteenth is a holiday. So even though it's a really old holiday, this is the first time in 155 years that it is officially a holiday in Pennsylvania. And there's a lot of other states too that are flying the Juneteenth flag. But Pennsylvania, we're really happy to be one of those states today. So what you're going to make is a little flag, but the one that you're going to make is going to be very pretty. It's going to be way prettier than mine. The Juneteenth flag has some meaning in it. It's red, white, and blue, like America, like our colors are for America. But in the middle here is the Lone Star. This is the Star of Texas. A little bit hard to see. And around that is a star burst. So it's all of these former slaves, these people that were owned and had to work and were not treated very well, just burst free out of there. So that's a pretty cool symbol. So what you're going to do, you will get a white crayon, some paper, any size you want. I would use white. I just think it would show up better that way. And you'll need some watercolor paint and some water. And what you're going to do, and it can be hard to see this, but you should draw in the middle of your paper. See if you can draw very faint with a pencil. See if you can draw a star. I'm going to draw a star. kind of hard to see because it's so light. I drew it with my pencil. And then around that, I'm going to draw that burst around it. Like that. Then, this is the fun part. You're going to get, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky too. You have to pay attention. And you get your white crayon, and you're going to draw, you're going to trace with your white crayon. Press really hard, but not so hard that you break the crayon. You don't want to do that. And you are going to trace all that pencil mark with your white crayon on the spiky burst around the star. You can do that. And then you want to get the star in the middle too and trace the star. And then do your very, very best to color the inside of that star all white. This is a pretty cool thing. So pretend that there's no pencil mark on here. It looks like invisible ink almost. It's pretty cool. Now I'm going to show you how to make it come out. So you're going to get your watercolors, if you have some. And I have paint, a paintbrush. And I'm going to take some of the blue. I think I'll do the blue first. And first, remember the top of the flag is blue because we have red, white, and blue, like the colors of America. And I'm just going to paint over this. And look, all the things that I drew in white, the paint doesn't really stick to it very well. So that stays white. And you just want to go very faintly over it. And you can make the whole thing. You can make the whole paper like this, but I'm just going to show you a little bit. And then, got to make sure that you rinse your brush out really well, because now we're going to do red on the bottom. Remember what happens when you mix red and blue. Purple, which is a beautiful, beautiful color. I love purple. It's one of my favorite colors, but that's not what's on the Juneteenth flag. So then you'll take your red, and then you'll paint on the bottom part, all the red. And there, you can make a Juneteenth flag out of paper. You can hang it somewhere. You can fly it somewhere. Very proud. Because this is a holiday, and this is a celebration that everybody should be proud of, no matter what color you are. If you're black or brown or white, or you're green and have pink polka dots, this is a holiday for everybody to celebrate and for everybody to find joy in, and for everybody to think about how important it is that we treat everybody with kindness and love, and that we just celebrate all of the things that are different about us, because that's what makes the world a really awesome place. All right, that is our Juneteenth story time for today. We're not going to do our goodbye song today, but I will see you guys next week, and I hope you have a good Juneteenth. I hope that you do some really fun, kind things with people you love, and that you're kind to people you don't know, and that's a good way for you to celebrate the day. And I hope you do that every day. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.